Okay, why don't we start with a little bit about your journey in the business and how you ended up doing what you're doing now. How did you start?
Sure. So I started off in the early '90s as a institutional bond salesman for HSBC in Chicago. You
Yeah.
know, I was a young man out of college and I got a job and learned about the credit markets and how the world really works in finance. And basically wanted to get into equity. So I went back to business school, went to the sell side at DLJ in the late '90s, was an electric utility research analyst. That was interesting times. That was the dot-com bubble, but I was doing electric utilities on the sell side. And interestingly enough, I got a job right at the peak of the bubble on the buy side up in Boston for a firm, Independence Investments, where I was a tech analyst. And because of my suspicion of what was going on, I was able to help my firm avoid a lot of the damage in the tech bubble. And then because of that, I was able to swing into a portfolio management job at BlackRock
Nice.
in the early 2000s and ran a large cap growth fund for 10 years. We took the product from 2 billion to 15 billion. We were able to cobble together a great track record. We did well in the financial crisis. We were one of the only large cap growth managers to, on a relative basis, because it was long only money. We outperformed on the way down, and then we made the turn in '09 and got bullish. And then we gathered a lot of assets. But then BlackRock decided in their wisdom that they wanted to go to passive, so they started to realign everything. I quit the firm, and my now ex-wife wanted to move out to Hawaii. She's Japanese, so we moved to Maui. And I tried to start a hedge fund here with some friends from BlackRock. We weren't able to raise any capital, but we did raise some operating capital. We had a good track record, but we basically ran out of time. One of my partners had to go get a job, and we caught the turn in 2018 in a bunch of different asset classes. It was a global macro hedge fund. I was the equity guy. And then since then,
You ever blow up one of your own accounts?
No. I did trade. So one of my best learning experiences is personally, I lost a lot of money in 2016. I was short in January, and then I stayed short in the rebound in 2016 because I was not as respectful of central bank balance sheet expansion as I am now.
Oh, welcome to the club.
Yes. So I made a costly error. I still have some capital to trade, but 2016 was not a fun year. And so I've been basically trading my own money. I've been working with, consulting with the guy, Peter Campbell, who runs a small hedge fund, S&P futures, long short. And he's provided me with some of his trading software. So he and I work together a lot, and I basically make a living on Maui day trading and taking swing shorts and longs, S&P futures and options. And
so you stayed in Hawaii after the divorce?
Yes, correct.
All right. Well, she at least led you to a nice destination, huh?
It's not a bad place to be. Not a bad place to
be. People dream of it. So let me ask you, what is your thing with Tesla deaths? I went to your Twitter box, and then.
So look,
I know a lot of shorts are dead, but you seem to be focused on the actual cars and all the mishaps that have happened with Tesla.
Well, so Tesla's an interesting stock. So I was shorted for a spell, but then when it started doing its blow off top, I've learned to respect technicals because, one thing I should talk about is one of my new belief systems is that the market structure's changed. All right. So when I was, starting my career, fundamental guys were the price setters in equities, and fundamental guys are only 10, 12% of the daily volume. Most of the volume is systematic, and CTAs. So fundamental guys no longer set the marginal price. Okay, so when you're making a bet on a stock fundamentally, you have to respect the technicals. And when they start going against you, no matter what your belief system, get out of the way. So I was not taken out to the woodshed on the Tesla bull run. I did make a little bit of money going long, but I'm so disgusted by what I see fundamentally in Tesla, and there is fraud there. Whether it ever comes out anytime soon, that the chart will tell me. I'm not going to front run it, and
Yeah, do you
Tesla.
know if Chanos is still short? I
Yeah,
haven't seen him on CNBC for a while.
he's still short, but he's a savvy guy. He's got lots of long, so he offset. He goes long other crap companies that are not as bad as he thinks Tesla is. So he may be losing some money in that position, but his overall
Some I think has been short from 3 figures,
yeah, well,
$300, so
but
before pre-split.
But so my fundamental belief is that the Tesla car is poor quality. There's really not a ton of demand out there. Elon uses tax credits to pump demand.
Yeah.
When tax credits go away, the demand drops off for these electric vehicles. So, the last leg of his story was his expansion in China. The latest indications are that they're already starting to export cars from China, which is an indication that demand in China is not that great. So, demand in the US has peaked and rolled over. Demand in Europe has peaked and rolled over. So the last leg of his story and the big blow-off move was the China story. So we'll see. You guys earlier were talking about the FANG stocks putting in maybe a very important top. I'm monitoring that. I think I was listening to you guys earlier. I do think that the equity markets have put in an important, I'm not going to say it's the top, but they put in what I follow cycles. So, potentially an intermediate cycle top, and there may be some more downside after some consolidation here. But again, like you guys have been talking about, and everyone's been talking about, you're fighting Fed and European central bank liquidity and Japanese liquidity. So it's this uncomfortable position. If you're short, you don't want to be short for too long, and you want to be very tactical. And when you think there's
it seems like it could only be a scalp or a swing. You can't position yourself short. At least they're getting guys like us to give up on position trading short and just taking scalps out on quick declines and not marrying the position. What do you think the Fed, since you have a new awareness of balance sheets, what do you think the Fed is going to offer the markets tomorrow? More of the same or anything different?
I think they're going to be on hold, and I think they've done what they've done. They want to, they're always reactive. So I think they're going to, and I think the dollar's at an interesting position. I was listening to Blake, and I follow. I don't trade the dollar, but I follow the dollar because I cross asset class awareness. If you're trading the S&P 500 is very important, and usually big inflection points come when different asset classes all kind of come to their natural bottoms and tops. And the dollar may be putting in, at least in the short term, an intermediate term low. It's consolidating. It's very, the RSI on it is showing lots of divergences. And like Blake said, and I believe as well, if we get over 94, that's going to cause the equity markets to sell off quite nicely. Whether that happens this week or next week, I don't know, but I'm watching it. And I do think more leg down in the NASDAQ and the S&P, then it'll bottom, and then we get a rally. Now, from that rally, we either go to new highs or fail, and then this thing breaks down. But I'm not going to tell you what's going to happen. That's the setup. Get a correction, then a rally. And if the rally doesn't go to new highs and breaks down from there, then the Fed then may have to come back and then put more bullets in, but they'll be reactive. The markets will go down 15, 20% before they react. So this election is very interesting. Lots of volatility is coming up. So if you're a two-way trader, it's exciting. And my opinion on the election is, and again, I'm not going to make any comments whether you support Trump or hate Trump or support Biden. I try to get it right. I don't care what the I'm not going to be political here, but I will say what I'm seeing is you have a similar dynamic to 2016. The media is telling you Biden. I'm seeing internal polls from friends who are consultants to both sides of the aisle that Trump is going to win in a landslide as of today. If the election were held today, Trump's going to win.
Wow.
Yeah.
So both popular and electoral, because I've heard, that it could be similar in that Biden could win the popular vote and lose the electoral college. But you're talking landslide. That's
I'm talking
first time
landslide.
I've heard that.
Yeah, and look, there's just like in 2016, I predicted back then on Twitter that Trump was going to win. Everyone thought I was insane, and I've come to the conclusion these polls are garbage. They're not. There's a bias. We all know that the mainstream media is in the tank for Biden, and that's just a fact. I don't care to debate that. And these polls are used to gaslight people and to affect turnout. And if you look at the rallies, Trump's rallies are huge. There's no one showing up for any Biden rallies. The social media views when Trump has a rally are off the charts. When Biden speaks, there's no one watching. So there's this kabuki theater trying to bring Biden over the finish line. And I also do know that there's something brewing in the next week or two where someone is potentially going to come out with some shocking medical information on Biden, and there may be a news cycle created. So pay attention to that. There's going to be
what's the October surprise going to be?
Oh, the October surprise. They pulled forward some of them because Biden is so down in the polls. He's come out of his basement and he's trying to take back the narrative from Trump. Trump's narrative about the riots is really affecting women voters. Women want their families to be safe. And anecdotally, a lot of people on Hawaii this is a liberal blue state, as blue as they come. And
okay. Like California.
Yeah, the shutdown here has really affected small businesses and people's ability to earn a living. And most people don't care about politics. They just want to earn a living, raise a family, and save some money. And the worm is turning. I mean, Oahu is locked down the city for another 2 weeks. There's rumors they're going to extend the lockdown, and it's become political at this point. There's really no medical reason to keep it. I mean, Hawaii has some of the lowest cases of COVID in the country, and we're starting to see Trump rallies on Maui and Oahu with local Hawaiians, who are supporting Trump. So this is a blue state, and if that's any indication of what's going on across the country, there's an anger brewing and a backlash against these lockdowns, against the inability to earn a living.
Okay, well, let's get to a money question based upon your prediction. So in 2016, when Trump won, the S&P's open limit down. Yep. And then Carl Icahn went home and bought $1 billion worth of futures, and by the morning they were unchanged, and that turned out to be a very significant low. So if you're right, should people get long in front of the election? And we're not going to know election night, are we?
No.
Okay. We won't. Who knows? One will know, right? So would you want to be long the market into the result? And then maybe the opposite happens as re-election puts in, instead of an important low like 2016, maybe an important high?
Yeah, so the current wisdom amongst my friends who manage billions of dollars in New York and California and the retail folks the newly anointed day traders on Maui that I talked to, everyone is under the impression that we're good to go until the end of October, right before the election. I think what we're seeing now is a shakeout, and I do think we're going to maybe continue to go after we put in this little counter trend rally here. We're going to go lower and put in a bottom sometime in the next week or two, then begin to rally into the election potentially, and then that's where you want to think about putting on some shorts, because like you just said, Trump wins in a landslide, but it's going to be contested. They're going to claim he cheated. You can see the Democrats are setting up narratives that Trump is cheating, and those are going into the, you can see them into the Democratic friendly media outposts. So on election night, there's going to be maximum uncertainty, no matter what, whether or not you believe Trump won or not. It's going to be contested. Biden's already hired hundreds of lawyers to contest the election, no matter what. So on election night, it'll show that Trump wins, but half the country won't accept it, and so there's going to be this maximum uncertainty. So,
well, because isn't that because of mail-in votes that Trump
right.
has claimed is going to be fraud anyway? So I've heard that he could win on election day because his supporters are going to go to the polls, so he'll have the numbers then, and then Biden's numbers come in through the mail. When are we going to even have transition of power, and how long will it take, you think?
Well, I think personally, I think it's going to be a SHIT show going
Okay.
right after. I think November is going to be maximum volatility, and it's going to be an opportunity for traders.
On the streets or in the market?
Both.
Both. Okay.
Yeah. So I think it's going to be an opportunity for two-way trading. Again, maybe a bias short into the once we get a bounce going in the next week or two. So I think we go lower. I don't think we break 50, kind of hold there, then rally, come up short.
3,200 looks like a big area to me in the
Yeah.
S&Ps that we need to hold during corrections. You have any bull bear lines in the sand that you're paying attention to here?
So
Edward?
look, when you have sell-offs like this, it can get sloppy and it can look like things are going to break down. But 3250 to 3150, in and around there, if we start putting in divergences, then we're probably going to rally.
Okay.
And I'm looking for that low in the next week. We got OPEX this Friday, and as you know, the market makers try to hold the market up as long as possible into OPEX.
What is that momentum tool that you're using? It changes colors from yellow to red. What is that? And then on the bottom, what is that? It looks like a bunch of bands overlaid on the charts. Are these your triggers?
These are longer term charts. This is the 488 and the 288. This my friend's computer models trigger resistance and support. So on the longer time frames, we're consolidating a little bit, and we think our bias is that we're going to break down 3,300 and scare people, and then that's where we have a rundown to 3,150, 3,250 in that band, and then things consolidate, and then we rip into the election. But those are price oscillators. Let me put up another chart, a shorter time frame. 60 minute and the 135. All right, that's the 60 minute and the 135 down below. Right now, we're doing a counter trend rally off what looked like a nice double bottom. I think, watch today and tomorrow, 2416 in the cash S&P. That was kind of when we broke that down, that's when some selling kind of came in. So we're back testing the 2416 cash in the S&P. That's where a lot of CTAs have trigger points for selling and buying. So if we can't break above that, I think we're going to take another leg down. If we do and we hold that as support, I'll get bullish. I'm not religious about these things, Dale.
Okay.
But my expectation is this is kind of a pause before another leg down. We got to put in a low, maybe depending upon where we end up this week or next week, Then we have we rally into election day. It's probably a slow grind up, and then from there you can see a lot of volatility. But again, I have strong opinions loosely held based on technicals. I've learned not to be too religious about my positions and my opinions when I see levels that I thought would break or hold. When I'm wrong, I cut my losses and go the other way. So I'm not religious. I like to make money. So But that's my expectation for now. Is that we're going to get a nice low here before the election, because the expectations, as I said, everyone thinks we're good to go until the election. So a lot of people will be shaken out of their positions into this low. Then we'll rally, and a lot of people will probably put positions back on right before the election, and then we're going to get civil unrest and market unrest.
Okay. Are you interested in having more followers on Twitter, and do you do anything to help traders out, teach, or provide analysis? Do you have a business model besides trading your own account?
No, I don't. I do not. I don't try to. I'm not one who's going to try to get subscribers and that kind of thing. I tweet I'll tweet what I see in the market. I sometimes, if I have a strong conviction, I'll say that. I just don't, because as you know, look, trading is a difficult profession, and I'll put a position on, and if I find out I'm wrong an hour later, and I don't like to like get people in, follow me, and then
I understand.
It's just
it's tough. It's tough to feel responsible for other people's losses. Easier to deal with your own. So I appreciate you coming on, and some interesting and things I've never heard of in regards to the election. You're the first person talking Trump landslide.
And again, I'm not saying, look, if I thought he was going to lose, I would tell you that. Again, this is not coming from political beliefs. This is me using, the real data, not what we're seeing in the mainstream media. And I want to get it right. I really don't, if I thought he was going to lose, I would tell you.
Do you feel the same way after maybe a little bit of Maui Wowie?
I do not participate in Maui.
Okay, I thought it might be medical. Anyway, so really nice to meet you, buddy. Now my trading warrior brother, Edward. Really, thank you for taking some time out and sharing your views on the markets and all this crazy political stuff that's happening here in our country. So
no, it's insanity, and Dale, I'm sure you share the same view that I do. That it's becoming just absolutely, untenable to even have conversations with people. So I tend not to want to even talk to people about it, because it's just not pleasant. And with most of the people I know on Maui, they have strong opinions, and I don't share my opinion with them that I think Trump's going to win, because it makes them mad. So I just, I'm sharing with people in the markets, because most traders really don't care. They want to make money. So I'm just giving my viewpoint of what I think is going to happen. And if in the next week or two I start thinking Trump's wrong, I'll put that on Twitter. Trump's going to lose, I'll put that on Twitter. But what I'm seeing now is landslide electorally and popular vote. But it doesn't matter. It's still going to be contested.
There are going to be a lot of people on suicide watch. I really appreciate meeting you, Edward, and wish you good luck in your personal trading and any endeavor that you seek out going into this fall trading season. Thank you, buddy.
Oh, thank you. And I enjoyed our conversation, and be well, Dale.
Thank you very much. Edward Dowd, everybody. I posted his Twitter handle in chat. That's a wrap for Turnaround Tuesday. Let me just take a quick look at things here. Yeah, the euro faded. Yen still under pressure. And let's just see here. Silver, if you took it, we're trading 27.50. It's now 27.33. So the high was 60 at a 10-cent drawdown. You have 18 cents right here. Book half at least. Trail your stop to BE and be out before the Fed announcement tomorrow. And remember, don't just count your pips, count your blessings, and see everyone tomorrow. Adios. Scroll back on that, Alexander. Edward Dowd, it's his hand. You're welcome, Richard.